In this tutorial, I will show you how to paint this spring landscape with flower fields in Procreate. I will take you through all the steps so you can draw it too, even if you are a beginner in digital art. If you enjoyed this video and would like to draw more with me, make sure to check out my Patreon where I have more step-by-step tutorials like this and many Procreate brushes. Link is in the description. And with all that being said, grab your drawing tools, relax, and let's start. Let's make a new canvas, A4 canvas from Procreate. Rotate it this way. And first we're going to draw the sky. Let's take first color for this. And here I have a color palette that you can download for free. It is linked in the description of this video. And also you can download my free brushes. So let's start with color number 1 and drag and drop it into the canvas. Now we are going to add here stripes of colors. Let's take next color, color number 2. And to make it easy and quick, we can use the selection tool. Let's take it, at the bottom pick rectangle and turn on color fill. Let's select a rectangle somewhere over here like this. And then tap here to finish this. Now let's take next color, color number 3. And again, let's take the selection tool and select a rectangle over here. Make sure that those two colors here will be overlapping and tap here to finish this. Let's take last color for the sky, color number 4. Take the selection tool and now we can select the rest of the canvas, like this. Tap here to finish. And now we're going to blend those colors together. So to do that, let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Swipe your pencil and screen to the blur size. And let's make this about 50%. Let's tap here to finish this. Now we are going to make a new layer to draw the land. So let's tap on the plus to make a new layer. And let's pick a color. The base color for the land will be this one, color number 12. Again, we can use here the selection tool. And let's draw here a rectangle at the bottom, somewhere like this. So it's a little bit less than half of the canvas, like that. Let's tap here to finish. And right away, we want this horizon line to be a little bit blurred. To do it, we can go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Let's add here blur size 3%. Let's tap here to finish this. Now that we have the horizon line, we can draw the sun. Let's make a new layer for this. And we're going to put it under that land, so over here. Let's pick the color. Take color number 5. And now let's pick a brush. We can use here medium brush from airbrushing. Let's make the brush size 2%. And somewhere over here we can draw a circle. So draw a circle like this. Hold your pencil on the screen and now we can put your finger here to make this a perfect circle. We can color this inside, so drag and drop the color in here. And hold your pencil on the screen so you can swipe it to the left or right to adjust the color drop threshold. Okay. Let's take the arrow tool and we're going to move it to the middle of the canvas. So at the bottom, let's pick uniform option and turn on snapping. So now we can put it in the middle like this and it will snap in here. Let's put it somewhere over here and maybe I will make it a little bit smaller. I think like this is okay. And then tap here to finish this. Now we are going to draw some glow around the sun. For this, let's make a new layer and we're going to put it under the sun. Let's take the color now. Take color number 4. And let's draw here a big circle. Hold your pencil on the screen and put your finger here to make this a perfect circle. Let's make it quite big, like this I would say. And now we can tap here and move this. So the sun will be in the center of the circle. When you finish, tap with your finger on the screen. And now we are going to color this inside. And my color drop threshold was too big, so I'm going to undo this and color again. Hold my pencil on the screen and swipe it to the left. Okay. Now let's add here some more colors. Let's take next color. Color number 7. And let's draw here another circle. Smaller now. About this size. Let's tap here to move it. Tap with your finger on the screen to finish this. And now if you want to color this, it will color also the other circle. So this is not a good way to do that. We are just going to color this manually. So let's make the brush size bigger, maybe 14%, and just color this inside. Okay, and now we can add here one more color. Let's take it. It will be color number 6. Let's make the brush size small again, 4%, and draw a circle smaller, like this. Again, let's move it so it will be in the center of the other circles. Tap with your finger on the screen to finish this, and then color this inside. Okay, now we're going to blur this. So let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. Let's add here blur size about 46–47%. Okay, and then tap here to finish this. We are still going to make the sun glow more. Let's go to the layer with it. And we can add here an adjustment. Let's go to the adjustments and take here bloom. Swipe your pencil on the screen to the bloom size. And then at the bottom you can still play around with the other settings to get the effect that you like the most. I think I like this. So my bloom size is 45, transition max, size 51 and burn 52. Let's tap here to finish this. We are going to draw the clouds in the end. So now we can move on and draw here some mountains. Let's make a new layer for this. And let's pick a color. Let's take color number 8. We can make the brush size a little bit smaller, 2%. And let's just draw here a shape, a line for the mountains like this. And now we can color the bottom part of this. So drag and drop the color in here. And we are going to blur this line a little bit. So let's go to the adjustments, take Gaussian blur. And we can make it here 3% blur size. Now let's add here some colors on this. We are going to add here some shadow. For this, we want to draw only on that shape that is on this layer. To do it, we have to set this layer as alpha lock. Let's tap on this layer and pick alpha lock. Let's pick a color. Take color number 9. And we can just add this now here on the right side and here on the left side of the mountains, because we have sun here and we'll get here some light in those directions. So just draw here some kind of random lines over here, just like that. We are going to blur this in a second, blend this, so you don't have to draw here anything precise. This is so far away that we don't need here any details. And now let's blend this. For this we are going to use the smudge tool. So let's take it over here. Let's tap on it. And we are going to set this to this brush, Paint, from my siakulaart special brushes. Let's make the brush size 6%. And now we can kind of blur this like that. Add here some more structure to those mountains. Maybe I'll make the brush size bigger, 11%. But don't worry about creating here anything specific because we are still going to add here blur. Okay, so I have something like this. We can blur this now. Let's go to the adjustments, take Gaussian blur, and let's add here a very small blur, 3%. Let's tap here to finish this. And right away we can add here some sun, some light on those mountains. To do it, we're going to make a new layer on top of this one. And we want to draw now only on that shape that is underneath, so on the mountains. To do it, we have to set this layer as clipping mask. So let's tap here and pick clipping mask. And to add here a nice light effect, we can change the blending mode of this layer. Let's tap on this N letter and set this to overlay. Let's pick a color. We can take color number 6. And with the brush size 8%, we can add this light here on top of the mountains right under the sun, like this. And then here on the sides too, just a little bit. We can mix in here a little bit of orange color. So let's take color number 4. For this, let's make the brush size smaller, 4%. And just on the edges of that light, we can add this color, like this. I think this will be enough like that. And now let's blur this. Let's go to the adjustments and take Gaussian blur. We can add here maybe like 7% blur. And let's turn down the opacity of this layer. So let's tap here and we can turn it down. Maybe let's make it 77. And now we are going to make the light stronger right in here. So let's make a new layer for this. Again, we are going to set it to clipping mask. Change it to overlay. We can take back that yellow color, color number 6. And add this with a bigger brush size, 8%. Again, here more right under the sun. So like this. And let's turn down the opacity. I will make this one 51. Okay, now we can add here some smaller mountains and some kind of trees in front of these ones. Let's make a new layer for this. And let's pick a color. Take color number 10. And here we can change the brush. Let's go to my siakulaart special brushes. And for this, let's take landscape with the brush size 14. Let's draw here a kind of like a shape of some kind of mountains and trees. Something like this. So just draw here a line right at the horizon. We can now zoom in and make the brush size smaller, maybe like 3%, and maybe add here some more details, like some kind of maybe like trees that are higher here, just like that. So this will be more interesting. Let's do it just in a few places. And again, let's blur this. So let's take the Gaussian blur. And here we can blur this just 2%. Now we can add here some more colors. Let's set this layer's alpha lock, so we can draw only on this shape. And let's pick a color. Take color number 11. With the same brush, let's make it bigger now, 6%. We can just add here some kind of random shapes facing the sun. Just like that. Okay, and let's blur this with the smudge tool. Let's make it smaller, 7%, and we can just kind of go in different directions on those colors. So just like that. And here also we can add some light from the sun. Let's make a new layer for this. Set it as clipping mask. Change it to overlay. Let's pick a color. Take color number 6. And with the same brush, we can just add this here. Again on the sides that are facing the sun. So more here on top, right under the sun. And then here on the left side. And here on the right side. So like this. We can turn down the opacity of this. I will make it 59. And we can blur this just a little bit. So let's take Gaussian blur. Let's blur it maybe just 1%. And let's add here stronger light. Let's make a new layer. Set it as clipping mask. And this one we can set here to add. This light will be really strong. Let's add it here right under the sun, like this, on the edges of those trees. And here, just here in a few places. We can blend this with the smudge tool. So let's kind of smudge it a little bit. Okay, and let's turn down the opacity of this, so it's not too strong. I will make it here 65. Okay, now we can start drawing here our land. Let's go to the layer of it. And first we'll add here some base colors. We can set this layer's alpha lock. Let's pick our first color. Take color number 13. And let's pick a brush. We can use here landscape 3. the size 23. We'll just add here some colors somewhere around here. We'll just draw here some lines. We are going to blend all of this, blur this, smudge it. But we need here this base with those colors under our flowers. Okay, so like this. Now let's take next color. Color number 14. We can add it here closer to us. And then last color, color number 15. Let's add it here right at the bottom of our illustration. So just like that. Okay, now let's blend this. Let's use the smudge tool. We can make the brush size maybe bigger for this, 16. And just kind of go here left and right, blending those colors together. This doesn't have to be anything precise. We just want to have here more colors for under the flowers. So something like this is okay. Let's add here some more colors now on a new layer. Let's make it darker in a few spots. So let's make a new layer. Let's set it as clipping mask. And we can change blending mode of this to multiply. Let's take here color number 14. And just add some lines again on top of this here, closer to us. Just some random lines all over this. This should be enough. And now let's take different color, color number 13, and we can add those here further away. Okay, again, let's smudge this. So take the smudge tool, and we can just smudge it. Okay, now we can turn down the opacity of this. Let's make it maybe 32%. And now we can draw here lines that will divide the flower field. Let's make a new layer for this. We are also going to set it to multiply and set it as clipping mask. We want to draw those lines in the perspective. To make it easy, we can turn on the drawing assist. So let's go to the actions menu, canvas, drawing guide, then tap on edit drawing guide, and here let's pick perspective. Now we have to tap on the canvas to create a vanishing point. Let's tap here somewhere on the horizon line and right in the middle, so under the sun, like this. And then tap on done. So now we can see here those lines and we can draw along them. Let's change the color. Let's take color number 15. Let's make the brush size smaller, maybe like 8%. And start drawing here some wobbly, shaky lines going towards the sun, like this. And go along those perspective lines, of course. You can make them broken up like that. Draw here another one. Make it a little bit fuzzy and shaky on the sides when we are closer here to the bottom of the canvas. They don't have to be perfect, but we just want to make sure that they'll go to the same vanishing point. Okay, so just like this, it's enough. Let's use the smudge tool. Maybe we can change now the smudge tool to landscape tool brush. Let's make the brush size 6%, brush opacity 100%, and we can kind of smudge this a little bit. Go to the left and right over here. So this shape is kind of broken up. We can smudge it here at the end. That will be good. Okay, now we don't need to see those lines anymore. We can turn it off. Let's go to the Actions menu and just turn off the drawing guide. It's time to paint some flowers. Let's make a new layer for this. We are going to set it as clipping mask. Let's pick the color for the flowers. Take color number 16. And here we can use my flowers brush, this one, Flower Power. Let's make the brush size maybe like 15 for now, and brush opacity 55. And we can add this here in the back. Just draw all over this canvas to about halfway of the length. Okay, now we can make the brush size bigger, 32, and brush opacity 100%, and just add some flowers here closer to us, this way. Let's take it all the way to us. You can leave some empty spaces between the flowers. And then we can kind of lightly fade it away here. Very gently go here in the direction of the lines and fade it away. So just like that. Let's make the brush opacity smaller again, 63. And again we can draw here following the perspective lines and fading this away like that. Now we can add some bigger flowers right close to us over here. Let's make the brush opacity 100% and brush size maybe 40%. And we can just stamp here some bigger ones, like that. And now we can make here a new layer on top of this to build up the depth over here. So let's make a new layer. Let's also set it as clipping mask. And we can change your color. Let's take color number 17. We can start with the brush settings that we have now. And let's draw here some flowers close to us. And now we can kind of keep in mind that we had here those lines dividing the field. But don't worry, we'll still erase some of this so we can bring it back so it's more visible. Now we can make the brush opacity smaller. Let's make it 75. We can make it a bit smaller too, brush size 18. And let's add this here more in the back, like that. Okay, like this is okay. Now let's start creating here some shadow. For this we can make a new layer and we're going to put it under the one we're just drawing on. So over here, let's change the blending mode of this to multiply. We can take here color number 16 and with the brush size 26, brush opacity 100%, we can add some of this here, maybe bigger brush size, let's make it 44. We can just add this here a little bit closer to us, so there is some shadow more visible here. So we have here some shadow under those flowers. Now let's make the opacity smaller, 58, and brush size also smaller, 20, and we can add it here further away. Go in the direction of the lines, so just like that. Okay, now we can cut out some of those flowers so we can see those lines again. So let's start here with this layer, the base layer for the flowers. Let's take the eraser, let's tap on it, and we can set it to the same brush. So flower power. Let's make the brush size here 18, brush opacity 100%, and let's go here just gently along those lines, stamp a few times to cut away some of those flowers over there. If you cut away too much, you can undo this, maybe make the brush size smaller, 11, and just go again. Okay. We can do now the same to the other layer with the flowers. This one, the top one. Let's cut some of this out. And now bigger brush size, 22. Let's cut here a little bit in front. Now, before we add here some brighter flowers on top, we can go back here to the layer of the lines. This one. Let's make a new layer on top of this, and we can just make it stronger in a few places. Let's set this layer here as multiply. Let's change the color, take color number 14, change the brush. Let's take landscape tool, and with the brush size 5, we can now just draw here this line again a little bit to make it pop more. Just like that. And this will be enough. So now let's make here a new layer on top of everything to add here some brighter flowers. Let's set this layer as clipping mask, and we can change the blending mode to add. Let's change the color. Let's take color number 17 and change the brush. Now we can take here this one, flowers. And with the brush size 23, we can now just stamp here some flowers separately, like this. Okay, now let's make the brush size bigger, 41, and add bigger flowers closer to us. Now we can turn down the opacity. Let's make it 55. And brush size smaller, 18, 17. And add some of this at the back. And also a little bit here in front. And now bigger size, 41. And we can add some of this closer to us again. We can turn down the opacity of this, so it's not too bright. Let's make it 61%. Now let's add here some light on those flowers still, but more like a main light. So let's make a new layer for this. Set it as clipping mask. We are going to change the blending mode of this to overlay. We can change the color. Let's take color number 6. We can change the brush. Let's take flower power. Let's start with brush size 14 and brush opacity 56. And we can now just draw this here like this at the back here. Make the back very bright. So just like that. Now let's make the brush size a little bigger, 32. Let's make the brush opacity maybe like 81%. And just add here some spots of light still on those flowers. Focus here right under the sun. And now we can erase this, so it's not too much. Let's take the eraser and we can just stamp here a few times. Okay, let's turn down the opacity of this. I will make it 85. And let's add here one more layer for the light. Also set it as clipping mask. Change it to overlay. Now we can change the brush. Let's take here landscape 2. And with a brush size 5%, we can just add this here right at the end of the land. And now let's make the brush size bigger, 20. And just draw here some overall light like that. Just a little bit here in the back. Let's smudge this. Let's take the smudge tool and gently smudge it. I think like this is nice. Let's turn down the opacity. I will make it 73. Okay, so now in the end, we still have to draw the clouds. Let's make a new layer for this. Let's go first here to the layer of the sun and then make a new layer on top of this. Let's pick the color. Let's take color number 20 and let's change the brush. Let's take here this one, dry paint. With the small brush size, we can start. Let's make it 2% and draw some small clouds closer to the horizon line. Just draw some lines over here. You can draw a few on top of the sun. And then we can start drawing some smaller clouds further away. Now let's make the brush size bigger, 8%. And I would like to draw the clouds kind of in the same way like we have the perspective lines. So just going towards the sun. Let's draw a bigger cloud shape at an angle than over here. Just scribble a shape like that. Now another one over here. And one more over here. And then on this side. We can still add some more smaller ones, just all over this. Like that. And now let's add here another color. Let's take color number 19. And we can add this color to the bottom parts of those clouds, like this. We can also draw some clouds just with this color only. And let's take next color. Color number 18. And we can add this around the other colors, just like that. And now let's smudge this. So let's take the smudge tool. Let's tap on it. We can set it with the same brush, so dry paint. Let's start with a small brush size 3%. And we can smudge the clouds here at the bottom. So just blend the colors together and kind of fix the shape of the cloud, make it more fluffy on the edges. Now I will make a brush size bigger, 8%, so I can smudge here the bigger clouds. So just keep on smudging those shapes, make them more fluffy and mix the colors. We'll still add here another layer of the colors. Okay, so my clouds look like this now. Let's make a new layer on top of this one. And let's change the color. we can start making it brighter. Let's take color number 21. And we'll add this color now closer to the sun. So kind of like under the clouds over here, at the bottom of the clouds. Just add it a little bit, not too much. And like this will be enough. Let's take another color. Color number 22. Let's add it here again now. Kind of on top of the color that we just added. But you don't have to do it in every spot. Let's keep this color closer to the sun. Maybe let's make the brush size smaller now, 3%, and we can add it here to those smaller clouds. And let's take last color, color number 23. Let's add it here, now closer to the sun. So just like that. Let's blur this. Let's take the smudge tool. And we can again smudge it around. And now let's add here some extra light on those clouds. Let's make a new layer for this. We are going to change the blending mode of this to add. And with the same color, let's add this over here. Take the brush. And we can add here a lot of lights on those clouds, just like that. This would be enough over here. Let's take the smudge tool and smudge this. Okay, and now let's turn down the opacity of this. I will make it here 48. And now this illustration is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you can share your drawing with me on Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you'd like to draw more of me, make sure to check out my Patreon. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!